You know, it's crazy yet amazing how many movies originated from novels. Not to mention how many of these tug at our literal nostalgic hearts. It truly makes a brilliant marketing ploy. Captain Underpants, Wimpy Kid, Harry Potter, of course, the list goes on. Except for Annie K. Stein and Mighty Robot. Seriously, that would slap. But nonetheless, results may vary, though I am joyful in announcing that one of these movies just so happens to be one of my all-time favorites. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs was released in 2009 after a very, very messy production process. Sony Pictures Animation announced that this would serve as the company's third animated film behind Open Season and Surf's Up. In 2006, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller replaced the Brizzy brothers as directors. The duo decided to take a different approach for the movie, aiming it more to be a parody of disaster films like Twister and Armageddon. A year into working on the script, both directors were let go for quote-unquote story issues and replaced with a new team of writers who were also eventually dropped. Lord and Miller were rehired and started the script over from scratch, this time with assistance from the rest of the crew. The two were almost fired for a second time due to there not being enough of a story for their new script. To help circumvent this, the film's tackle shop owner would take on the role of being the father of the failed inventor, thus saving the film to be set for the remainder of production. The movie was released to the public September 18, 2009, and was met with favorable reviews, praising its humor, characters, and family friendliness, while others added that the film being targeted for a younger, vulnerable audience makes it less enjoyable. But what do I personally have to say about it? Well, in my humble opinion, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is an animated success. This sad little bastard is Flint Lockwood. He has no career aspirations and even less bitches. But one thing he does have is smarts. Well, kinda. As a kid, he had a passion for inventing and was fond of many historical scientific figures. While some of these inventions proved impractical, his primary motivation was to help improve the lives of others.
Hair unbalder! Flying car! Thought translator! No, Steve!
He experienced embarrassing failure numerous times and was dubbed as the town's weirdo. His mom proved to be a big inspiration to him before and after her passing. No matter how bad things got, he never gave up. After the entire world realized that sardines suck ass, based opinion by the way, the lonely island town of Swallow Falls got stuck eating all their unsold cans of fish. Also, why the interesting choice for a town name?
Apparently prostitution is legal.
So after a strict diet of poached, fried, boiled, and dried fish, Flint decides the next big invention will turn a limitless resource into a more satiable palate for the townspeople.
Water goes in the top, and food comes out the bottom.
This is a good time to segue into the villain of the story. This overcompensating schmuck is Mayor Stillborn. He is short, and done being the lonely mayor of a forgotten town. All he can do is milk sardines for all they're worth, which is nearly fucking nothing. All this setup perfectly introduces us to our other main character, cute as hell news intern Sam Sparks. Growing up, Sam wasn't like normal girls her age. She was much more nerdy and very fascinated with the weather, eventually making her way into an intern for a news company. And with a bit of luck, finds her way to the very dull, depressing, and publicly indecent Swallow Falls. Might as well get this out of the way. This registered sex offender is Baby Brent. Was a bully as a kid, is a bully as an adult, and has probably been wearing the same diaper in between. He's the town's goofy mascot who should be lucky as hell that his apartment is placed right where the school zone ends.
There's something you need to know. I'm Chris Hansen.
And this fish fucker is Tim Lockwood. His whole life is fish, every metaphor he speaks is fish. He's the main test subject for Flint's inventions. He sees this as nothing more than a waste of time and pushes Flint into working at the family tackle shop, despite his son's interests. This movie succeeds in what you think would be painfully obvious, and that's how well all these characters come around and perfectly merge with the core plot. The scientist with the invention, the meteorologist there to comment on bizarre weather, the mayor there to exploit it to fit his previously established intentions, the old-fashioned dad there to act as the voice of reason, and Brent. Each personality isn't challenged by any other, and they all perfectly complement each other, as the film itself brings its own level of silliness that helps carry the characters through. It's no secret that this is a very silly movie. It's kind of like taking that one happy kid that won't sit still and letting them direct it. Everything about this movie helps mold and define its vibe. Rewatching this movie for the 11th time made me realize how much I don't appreciate animation, but how important it truly is to define a film. Animation is the key to visual appeal, character expressions, and helps build its center identity. Every piece of this film, from its designs to how the animation helps guide its humor, proves to be extremely successful. And of course, I have to add, this movie is freaking hilarious. I get giddy with laughter every time I watch it. There are so many timeless quotable moments. Some are mild, some are subtle yet obvious and still funny, and others are completely out of nowhere.
I don't know how you're gonna top this.
Maybe with hot fudge?
I can understand how it may seem immature for some adult viewers, but I'm a very immature adult, so I'd say it's perfect. And then there's the music. My god, it's even more perfect. Not only does it share pre-existing scores that even further complement the film's well-established vibe, but the film's own original soundtrack proves to turn it into a truly polished work of art. The opening title screen still sends chills down my spine. The theme song gives such a great triumphant sense. It shows that you're truly about to see uplifting and powerful greatness. From start to finish, this film brings endless joy from one of the most simple sets of characters put to screen. There's nothing complicated about any part of the movie. It really shows what it means when producers only do what's necessary instead of trying to force something they believe is groundbreaking. It was marketed as a goofy movie that you can't take seriously, and they succeeded far beyond our expectations. Next, I want to take a moment to talk about probably my favorite scene in the movie, Flint and Sam's date. The development that we get from this segment is so real. At first glance, Sam came off as an airheaded intern news lady wannabe. As she got to interact with Flint's inventions and intelligence, her own genius snuck its way out, revealing that she's just as versed in the same things as Flint. This gave a couple things to consider moving forward. Will this be a romantic story between the frizzy-haired weirdo and the typical hot chick, or will they have more in common than we may think? During their date, we learned that Sam isn't this basic blonde news reporter. She grew up with the exact same struggles that Flint did.
Can you keep a secret?
No.
She was a big-time nerd who was often made fun of for her expressions and passions. As a result, she dropped the nerd stuff and was never made fun of again. While this is a feeling that Flint knows all too well, it was his mom that talked him into regaining confidence within himself. After realizing how much Sam held herself back from being herself, Flint gives her a push in the right direction, and she has the confidence to open herself up to the world as her true self. Flint's invention,
The Flintstones
has completely taken over, and Swallow Falls, now dubbed Chew and Swallow, has become a sensation within a month. People from around the world are set to visit the small Atlantic town to enjoy the wonders of the
Flintstones.
All seems to be going well for Flint. However, there's a dark motive hidden in plain view. The mayor uses this as the perfect opportunity to boost his own gains. After an emotional encounter with great indifference with his father, Flint realizes his disregarded fear of things going wrong is closely approaching. The mayor uses Flint's underlying fear of disapproval to convince him into ignoring his dad's warning and further pushing the machine's limits. After a parental figure gave Flint what he needed to succeed, it was the lack of support from his only remaining figure that led him to needing acceptance from anyone, no matter how bad their influence.
And me. I've always felt that you were like a son to me, Flint.
That bad influence rubbed off on Flint and led him to disregarding the one person he had the most positive effect on. This also leads to a disastrous and incredibly clever Foodmageddon. Flint screwed up. He failed his father, was influenced into doing the wrong thing, and the entire world paid for it. He has failed yet again. His father fills in his mother's shoes and gives him the exact confidence boost he was given all those years ago. Once reinvigorated, Flint and friends get together to triumphantly save the world from
The Flintstones.
with a Brent stuffed chicken and a questionably appropriate time for a love confession. After all seems lost, Flint comes in clutch with his original invention to save the world, all because his boomer dad couldn't send him an email. Thanks, Tim.
You feeling it?
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs isn't exactly the most poetic movie. There's no real symbolism or much artistic metaphor to be dissected, but the one message they did deliver is the importance of being yourself and never giving up, and I think they did a pretty damn good job. And that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace out.